Gentlemen, today we're going to talk about how to use a quote with a seamless lead-in sentence and then a sentence following the quote that analyzes what you have just selected from the novel. So I've chosen this quote from page 21 of Mice and Men. The boss turned half away, and then the dialogue, well, God knows you don't need any brains to buck barley bags. And so I'm going to begin with a lead-in sentence. And remember that your lead-in sentence must set context. That means we need to know where we are approximately in the novel, and we need to know who the speaker is. So I'm going to begin by writing, after George explains, notice I'm using the literary present tense, why he is speaking for Lenny and attests to Lenny's work ethic. The boss scrutinizes George and Lenny and concedes George's point. So after George explains why he is speaking for Lenny and attests to Lenny's work ethic, the boss scrutinizes George and Lenny and concedes George's point. So by putting I've given you the context, so we know that's when he's speaking to the boss. And then by having the boss be the subject of the main clause with the verbs scrutinizes and concedes, we know that the boss is going to be the speaker. So then I'm just going to pop in my quote. Now remember, because I'm quoting both narration and dialogue, I have to use the triple quote method. So I'm going to begin by using the double quotes to indicate that Steinbeck's words are beginning. And then when I get to Steinbeck's quotes, I have to switch them from double down to single. Easy for me to say. There we go. Okay, well, God knows you don't need any brains to buck barley bags. And at the end, I'm going to get rid of that period because it means nothing. I'm going to end the dialogue with a single quote, and I'm going to end Steinbeck's quote with the double. And then I'm going to put a space in and then do my citation. Steinbeck 21. End parentheses, and then period. Don't forget that period. You're the only one who gets to end your sentence. So I've got my lead in, I've got my quote, and I can't just move on to my next example. I need to provide some analysis. And so I will write, one look at Lenny convinces the boss that for this job, brawn is more important than brains. Okay, so I'm acknowledging the idea that that the boss has said in the quote that you don't need brains, that there is some degree of physical strength that is required. I've acknowledged that, and I've also indicated that the that the boss is concerned about Lenny and George. I've got that with the word scrutinizes, but he's willing to overlook that because of Lenny's superior physical size.